What's up, Taylor? How you doing?
Good, good. How's the quarantine treating you?
Just trying to make the best of it, staying safe, staying at home. It's tough for all of us, that's for sure. So, how
Definitely.
about for you?
I'm just trying to stay busy,
Yeah,
just trying to work out and, stay in shape so my players don't kick my butt once, things get rolling again.
that's true. And yeah, you came home early then, right? Because of it, because of the
Yeah.
quarantine.
Yeah, so all the FIBA shut down all the leagues about a month ago. So I got home like right before that, right before all the travel bans.
Got it.
Yeah, man. I was scared
Yeah,
though, like coming through LAX because my girlfriend's pregnant. So
right.
I thought we were gonna get quarantined, but there was nobody there. It was like ghost town, so we just walked right through.
Yeah,
But yeah. Anyways,
tough.
let's get into it for you guys who are joining us. This is Shaina Zaidi, ex UCLA basketball player, ex professional basketball player, co-founder of TuMe Water. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I see some sub dad.
Did that thing?
My dad just joined. Yeah,
Nice,
kind of
nice,
funny. Yeah.
nice. All right, so he'll probably have some good questions for you then.
Yeah, I'm sure. I invited some of my girls that I coach too to jump
Okay,
on, so we'll see what
okay,
questions get asked.
yeah. Wait, so you're still coaching?
So like I train like individually and can't totally leave the game. So coach
Yeah.
a middle school team at my alma mater. So
Okay.
that's how I stay involved. It's like a short season, but it's necessary for me to be on the court and be around the girls and
Mhm.
just to be able to still kind of touch a ball and have a reason to like practice or train or
Definitely.
coach. So,
Nice, nice. So,
yeah.
so like these days, I mean, obviously a little before the quarantine,
Yeah.
once we go back, when things get normal again, what's like your day to day? Obviously running to me, coaching here and there, but a little more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild to think about because especially during these times of being in quarantine, like each day, it goes by so slowly in the sense of we're still all at home, but at the same time, it's been going by so fast because we're already in April. So it's hard to think of the time before then. It's hard to think of like what was regular when this has become the new
Yeah.
normal. But a lot of it has around running the business and starting the company. So just everything from distribution, retail strategy, working on the actual brand and really trying to continue to send our message and get our voice out there. Those are things that we're constantly working on. Product
Mhm.
development, constantly working on. It's a really relationship oriented business. As most, even though it's like a packaged good, it still has to do with people, and all the relationships from the customer to retailers and just working on all of those, working with our partners.
Mhm.
So day to day it pretty much looks like that. I'll wake up, if you want the real breakdown, I'll wake up, I'll I pray, I meditate, set my intentions for the day, just really kind of shape how I want to go about what are the main things that I need to get done.
Mhm.
And then head to the office. We have an office in Burbank, so work in our office on all the things that I mentioned. Try and get a workout in some point during the day. It's really random for me. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's late at night. Usually it's with friends, so it's really difficult right now for me during this time because
Yeah.
I'm pretty a social person and I enjoy working out with my friends. So this IG Live and Zoom and FaceTime, I
Stay
mean,
connected, right?
yeah, they're cool, but it's not the same.
It's
It's not
not.
the same.
It's not like that human to human interaction for sure. Um,
Exactly.
so I saw that right now Toomey is actually giving away free cases. So
Yeah.
what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting in it's pretty kind of random. I was just sitting in my office and it was like a day, this is a couple weeks ago now, and I had just gone to the grocery market the night before is when things, hadn't escalated to where they are today.
Mhm.
And the only shelves that were really empty were the water shelves and of course like the toilet paper and paper towels. At that point, everything else was still there and people were still able to shop. But I kind of then was in my office the next day and we have a couple pallets that we store at the office for like promo giveaways and for local distribution, for camps, for things like that. And so I was literally sitting there and I was just looking and I said, well, I'm not going to have a problem with the shortage of water, because
Hmm.
I have even a better water with like turmeric and something that has electrolytes and is good for you. And I was just like, you know what? I should try and do something and give it away to some people and see, who do I choose then to give it away to, like I can't, I wish I had the means to give it to everybody, but I can't, it's still a business. We still have to provide for people that we work with, our employees, etc. But I was like, let me do a giveaway. Let me just see, who might want it. And I'm not an influencer or anything. I'm just a normal person, but
Yeah.
my Instagram kind of went crazy with how many people wanted wanted a case. I
Yeah.
did
Well,
this like first time giveaway.
everybody loves TuMe. I mean, how
Well, I
many?
appreciate that.
I've seen so many athletes, not only from your
What's
posts,
up, Pete?
but other people's posts. I've seen Steph Curry with it. I saw
Yeah.
Amber Rose at Coachella with
Oh
it.
yeah.
So, what
Yeah.
is it? What is it about this product that so many people just gravitate towards? Because for me, I love the taste, and I'm always trying to find something that keeps you healthy and things of that nature. So, how do you brand it to get it in all these like famous people's hands?
Um. Well, first, thanks Basketball Beauties League. Shout out to them. They love to me too, so that's cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It pretty much. Well, as most people know, and for those that don't know, it started as being a healthier alternative to like Gatorade and Powerade, and really having lower sugar, lower calories, and having something with function that was really like good for you. And turmeric is the main ingredient in our
Mm,
product, so that's what sets us apart from everything else. That's why it's even better during the time right now with people trying to boost their immunity because it's a natural immunity booster. It's a natural antiviral, so it's really good just to have, for overall wellness and overall health. And because of its like great properties is why everyone loves it. Why it's so
yeah,
different. It's not just electrolytes, not just pH, not just alkaline, not just sparkling. It's got something that's really going to help you. So
definitely. That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's kind of backtrack. Let's talk about
yeah, sure.
what kind of led you here.
Yeah.
Obviously, basketball is a huge influence in your life. So growing up, where does that passion for basketball kind of begin?
Geez. I mean, I started playing in the third grade, or the fourth grade, but basketball actually wasn't my first sport. Tennis was my first sport. And I played competitively since I was like 6 years old. I played junior tournaments and like trained every day, private lessons, the whole deal. So it was like in fourth grade, I just played like park and rec basketball with my friends. Like it was
Mm,
a chance for me to I had mostly like guy friends in school growing up, probably because I was a tomboy and I played sports. So
yeah,
it was a chance for me to like be a part of a team with other girls. And so I played softball, I played basketball, and I just really enjoyed the team atmosphere and enjoyed that aspect. It seemed very social versus tennis was like really like regimented and focused, hyper focused, and basketball just seemed fun. It was like to have fun with my
yeah,
friends. And then I just kept at it, and coaches were starting to tell my parents that I'm actually pretty good and like if I should like try and do club or play more. And it just stuck. I fell in love with everything about it. Then Lakers with my dad like since I was a baby, so basketball was always there, growing up in LA. And just like the combination of everything, it really stuck. And
yeah.
it's trying times for me right now too when I can't go out there and just shoot around,
Oh, I
like
bet.
I've been retired for a while now, and it's still like I still need that. I still need that touch of the ball, to
Mm,
go practice, to go shoot. So
definitely, definitely. Do you still play 5-on-5?
I did as of last year. I host like some pickups with some friends and some girls that I train, and so I'll get out there and play. But I tore my meniscus last year, and so I took the opportunity, like took the time to just kind of like recover and rehab, and
Hmm.
so I haven't played in a while 5-on-5, but I'm excited to get back out there.
Definitely, definitely. So in high school, obviously you were the record holder
What's up, Khalil?
at Marlbough High School with almost 1,400 points. That was just broken by one of your players about a
Yeah,
year ago, right?
yeah. Hey,
Two
you
time
do your research, Taylor.
man, I got
Appreciate
you. I got you.
it.
Two-time All CIF. You won a CIF championship, and that's
Yeah,
just in 3 years at that school.
right.
you know, that's impressive for any kind of player. So, you know, as a girl, what kind of heroes did you have? Like, did you look up to other girls who were playing in the WNBA at the time? Did you look up to NBA players?
Well, yeah, you're gonna date me now because like when I first started playing, there wasn't the WNBA. You know,
Hmm.
like started what in the '90s, and you know when I had first picked up the ball, like there really wasn't. You know, women's basketball wasn't to where it is today. You know, and there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't Facebook, so you couldn't really like just follow somebody that easily. You couldn't have a trainer, you couldn't have
I think your
you know
following
an
would be
idol.
a lot bigger if there was, because I like when I was doing my research on you, because I've
Yeah,
seen you, like, obviously I hear the stories, like,
right.
you know, growing up, Adam's my friend. Like, I hear all the
Yeah.
stories about you playing overseas, and I see everything. But then I saw like a couple clips of you in Germany, like crossing girls, and I mean, you were like spinning them, and I was like, man, if this was on social media today, it would be all over Ball's life and all these
I
channels,
mean,
you know.
yeah, there's a lot of good players out there, so I mean, I'm not gonna take it away from them, and especially for the time now. But and I almost am happy that we didn't have it as much of a distraction during that time. But yeah, you're right. I was trying to pull up some game clips to show my girls the other day, and I have DVDs, and like the quality's all bad, and I'm just like, dang.
Yeah,
Not even no offense, because everyone can work up to being a main player, but bench players have highlight reels nowadays. So I'm just like, okay,
seriously.
this is something definitely of the
I
times.
actually just saw a player from Canyon. He makes highlights for all of his teammates, and he made himself a highlight tape, but he also made like a fail highlight tape, so all his
That's
turnovers and
so
things like
funny.
that. So I
That's
thought that
funny.
was funny. But
That's,
what were the things like you worked on in high school? You know, obviously you broke all these records. You got to UCLA. What was like your main focus working out at
um,
a young age?
yeah, I mean the main focus was to just try and be the best that I could be. You know, that was always in my mind, and I'm really thankful that I had supportive parents that you know they would take me to the park to shoot around. You know, I would shoot around before a game. You know, before a tournament. Like I would go to the park and get just to get some touch shots in, or you know, if I couldn't do that, like I dribble in the driveway or whatever. So it was just always that desire to be the best version of me and put myself in the best position possible, you know? So just wanting to always prepare to practice that so I could put myself in the best situation. I feel like that's something I stress to people players that I talk to now, and you know girls that I still train, is that you have to really put in the work. You know, you
Mhm.
have to put in the work. It's not just going to come to you, and you can't look side to side. You know, there's a lot of great players at every decade, in every class and everything like that. But you can't look at them. You have to just focus on yourself and what can you do to be better each and every day. And that's what I just continue to focus on. And then one other thing is that I feel like people get caught up in their failures and what their other weaknesses, and they just like dwell on them, or they over practice them. And sure, you want to build up your weaknesses, just like don't only dribble with your right hand, you got to dribble with your left hand, but you also have to play to your strengths. So defense wasn't necessarily my strength
I'll
growing
feel
up.
you there.
Just keeping it real. But I mean, didn't mean I didn't work on it, but that means that I just had to really focus on, okay, then being really consistent with my shot, or making sure my handles were tight, or really limiting my turnovers. Whatever my strengths were at the time, I just had to continue to focus on them and not take them for granted. Like, oh, I could shoot, so it's okay, you know, I don't have to practice that today. No, that's when you need to practice even more. So,
Love it. I love it. So how did you end up getting recruited by UCLA?
well, it was uh, it was a it was a fun journey. I mean, the recruiting process, as you know, I'm sure, going from club season, high school season, then being recruited by different colleges. So UCLA was always my dream school, and I went to basketball camps there when I was really young, and tennis camps, and just pretty much any chance I could be on campus, because I actually had a cousin that's older than I am that went to school there. So any chance that I could be around the campus. So I went to camps there. I knew the coaching staff. I went back to what you had asked about, you know, players I looked up to. I looked up to players on the UCLA team, especially when I got into high school, and you know I was watching them more closely as players that I would come in after, or that next level of wanting to play at that level. Michelle Greco is one of them to this day, that she's like one of those idols that turned into friends. She's someone that I really looked up to and I modeled my game after almost. And she was in the class that graduated right before I ended up going to UCLA. So when I was on camps, I'd always pick her brain. I would go to games and just wait afterwards to say hi to her and some of the other players. So I think that process was exciting in the sense that when they piqued interest in me, and basically when I had actually, some people know this, but I had taken a trip to Harvard. So going to Marlbough is a prestigious college prep school. So
it's not a bad school.
yeah, so academics is really important to me and to my family, and had the opportunity to be recruited by Harvard, took a visit there, was seriously considering it, and UCLA, Kathy Olivier came through with an offer, and for me it was one that was the most perfect fit that I couldn't refuse, and absolutely am still to this day super thankful for having the opportunity to have gone there and played there. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, shoot, to choose between
thanks,
Harvard
Carla.
and UCLA, that is, man, you are super blessed. But
Appreciate that.
so
Yeah, yeah,
so a side question. This is just for
yeah,
me. This isn't
yeah,
really for the viewers. Okay,
yeah.
despite being, barely 6 foot, your brother Adam, who's a little younger than you, is always the best defender, like growing up
I know.
on
I
every
know.
single team. Is that from all the years of you beating him 1-on-1 or beating up on him?
You know what? I mean, I'll let you say it. I don't think he's listening, but he'll probably watch it back. And
Uh-huh.
it is funny, but hearing you say that, maybe it's because he had to guard me, right?
That's what I was
So
thinking.
when we practiced at home or when we played 1-on-1, he had to guard me. So, and I always wanted to be
Was
on
it
offense, so I'm
was it
older.
was it make it take it? Because it seems like all he did was play defense.
If even if it wasn't make and take it, I doubt I ever let him have the ball. I was like,
Yeah.
I just put it as an excuse of I need to practice, so you just got to play defense. I need to practice my offense.
That's funny. So talk a little bit about like the UCLA experience. Just living there. Like obviously we see how beautiful the campus is, and then what it's like playing in the Pac-12, what it's like putting on that UCLA jersey.
Jeez, I mean, there's not really much. There's nothing like it. I mean, at least not in my experience. There was nothing like
Mhm.
it. Just putting on the jersey, getting ready for the game, all the pregame action that happens from, shoot around to then the team talk, the preparation. If there's we had a big game that was televised, just all that went around that, and the excitement of more than people seeing us and just even we're in Poly Pavilion. Playing in Poly Pavilion is it's something that I definitely cherish, and I wish any young player has the experience to do. And even if it's not UCLA or Poly Pavilion, just that college experience. I feel like it's similar for any that played at that level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so 4 years you were athletic honor roll. Okay, obviously
Yeah.
you talked about you had an opportunity to go to Harvard. Just talk a little bit about outside of basketball how grades translate, to life after sports.
Um, I mean, it's paramount. Like if you're a good student, right, then you're going to have a positive outcome and you're going to be successful. And that's a student of the game, and that's a student in life, and that's a student when you're at school. So it's really important to put your focus, again, like I said, being the best that you can be. So sometimes people have challenges in learning. Some people have different types of issues with focus, but it really matters on just really trying to be the best that you can be. And I feel like a thirst for knowledge is really important, and being able to ask questions, ask why, and you learn all that in pretty much in school.
Mhm.
I in high school, especially at Marlborough, I didn't take all the AP classes. I took some honors classes, but it's not as if I sacrificed. I was only focused on school or I was only focused on basketball. It's about that balance, right? And if you're able to work on that balance at a young age. We got people from Germany here too. What's up,
Oh,
Lou?
nice.
Yeah, if you're able to learn that from a young age
Mhm.
in school, really focus on, okay, treating your schoolwork just as important as your basketball homework or you're practicing, then, you know, when you go to college or you go on to life, it makes things a lot easier to be able to adjust and to balance. So I think it's really important to focus on school,
Mhm.
and especially for young players, especially during the time right now. I bet it's very challenging, just as it is for all of us adults to work right now. It's
Yeah.
it's super challenging for students to stay motivated, but for all the players that are tuned in, it's really important that you just don't think about the time right now. Think about how you're preparing just to be the best version of you. You can't even really think too much into the future because there's so much uncertainty and so much unknown, but it's really just about being the best version of you. So
Definitely. Have you thought about being a motivational speaker one day?
I mean, I have
You
a
make
long
me
ways
want
to
to
go.
take my grades more serious, and I've been out of school for a while now.
Hey, that's good. You have a thirst for knowledge, though, right? So that's why you're
Yeah,
doing this. I mean, you're asking me
definitely.
questions and other people, so you're learning. So it takes many different forms. But no, I mean, I hope to inspire. That's something I'm very passionate about, is being able to have a platform to inspire. So whether that be through basketball, through my business, whatever it is, that I'm hopefully able to help other people and
Mhm.
to inspire them to be the best that they could be, just as others did for me. So
Yeah, you're definitely inspirational. The way you speak, the way you carry yourself as a woman. I mean, a lot
appreciate
of
that.
young girl, like you're definitely somebody a lot of young girls should look up to and admire. You're definitely somebody that I point my girls to.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
kind of follow in your footsteps, because people get so caught up in basketball right now, but basketball is just a vehicle for life, and
Right.
there's life after basketball. And where a lot of people kind of slip up, especially boys, I feel like, is they don't plan for life after basketball.
Mm,
And this is a great talk for everybody to listen to, because you're a prime example of there's so much more after basketball. Like, you've had such a successful career at UCLA and Germany and all these places, and now you're a successful entrepreneur, and you know you're taking pictures with Beyonce and Steph Curry,
yeah,
and you're with all these people, and even when you're at UCLA, you weren't doing that. So I mean, I think that's truly remarkable. Let's talk a little bit about
I
that famous
appreciate
game.
that. And
No
thanks,
problem,
Bella.
no problem. Let's talk a little bit about that 10 points in 2 minutes versus USC. How good did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. It felt great. First of all, to answer your question, it felt amazing.
Because that's the
And
ultimate rivalry. Like, you think of
yeah,
rivalry, you think Duke, UCLA, Oklahoma, Texas, UCLA, USC. So
right.
what's that rivalry like, and how good did
Well,
that feel to?
well, it felt great for many reasons. First off, is because a lot of young, especially for a lot of young players and just people in general, I've seen more often than not them being dissatisfied when they get to their dream college, even their freshman year, because of playing time, right? And I hate hearing that. That's the number one thing I hate hearing. High school or college, it's that they are not happy because of their playing time. And my freshman, and the reason why it bothers me is because there's so much more to the experience than that. And why are you limiting yourself just to that one year? Okay, if you have a horrible experience with the coach or the team, or you hate the school and you realize that, then fine. But if it's just because you're not on that court, like, as we talked about, there's life after the sport even. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to be happy with everything else around you. And so my freshman year, I didn't really play that much. I got scrub minutes. We had, I ended up playing with 4 All-Americans and 4 players that went on and played in the WNBA. I think 7 or 8 of our 13 girls went on and played professionally, like overseas or in the WNBA, maybe even more, 9 maybe. So it's
That's
like we
amazing.
had, we had a lot of people on our team. So it's not to say that um, I wasn't playing because I wasn't good. It was just because, that was the coach's game plan, etc. So my freshman year, I didn't play a lot, and I believe that that game you're talking about, either it was my freshman year or sophomore year. Sophomore year was limited minutes as well, but it was one of those years. So I hadn't been playing much,
Mm-hmm.
and but I'd been proving myself in practice. And the point guard that was ahead of me is Nikki Blue, and she's one of my best friends to this day. She's arguably one of the best point guards ever to come out of UCLA. played WNBA overseas and now is coaching at ASU. But so she played ahead of me. So I was going after her every day in practice, but she happened to be my friend. So she was also like mentoring me in the role. And she wanted me to play too. She herself didn't want to play as much time as she was playing. So she was like trying to encourage the coach to get me
Yeah.
some more time in there. So all these things, I had the support of my teammates that saw me in practice, but wasn't necessarily getting in there in those moments. And I was still a young player. And then against, I have friends that went to SC, and I have a cousin that went there now. So I'm not as, probably some of the Bruins are going to be pissed at me, but I'm not as diehard Trojan hater right now.
Yeah.
But when I was at school, it was like, take off that red shirt. That's what we said when we walked around
Yeah.
anywhere and saw anybody with an SC anything. So it was like, didn't want to step on their campus, didn't even play pickup with them because we didn't want to be around them, like the
Wow.
whole deal.
No
Yeah.
friendships, huh?
No friendship.
No
So
love lost.
yeah,
Jeez.
no way. So being able to be in that game, get my name called, go in there. It was a time when we were down, and be able to just really not have any fear and take the shots that were open. And like you said, score 10 points in 2 minutes. It was an incredible experience. It was a lot of fun. It was great.